Ruslanai. Welcome to our Startup Grind event. Today we're going to spend talking about your experience creating Millo so far. But before that, let's quickly review. So what's your background? What were you doing before Millo, before the idea and the whole thing came into being?
So, hi everyone. My background, I finished London Metropolitan University marketing and business. So those are two areas that I was interested. Mm-hmm. And it was actually quite hard for me to choose what I want to do a business consultancy or to do marketing. So when I came back to Vilnius, I decided to do consultancy and went to Ernst & Young. So spent a year there. Actually, it wasn't that excited as I thought. And after that, more or less it was private business, family business, construction. Then I started interior decoration company, which I had for 5 years. And then I moved to startups.
Startups, okay.
Yeah, so basically the last 3.5 years I'm doing startups, mm-hmm. And this is the third one.
Okay, so what was before Millo? In sense of startups?
Those two startups. The first one was Arrow and Pillow, boutique travel agency. We almost managed to raise money from Practica Capital. Unfortunately, during the last meeting with board members, somehow they didn't see any scalability in the project. It was nice, but not scalable. So, and I think it took us about 9 months to get to that point where would we get money. So everyone was disappointed and so we just, the story of Arrow and Pillow ended there.
Okay.
And the second startup was City Tales, again about travel. The idea was that when you travel, the best place to get insights are local people. So this was like an Uber for information, what to do and where to go. So this one we tried to launch in San Francisco, and very similar story. Almost got money from one European fund, but eventually we didn't.
Because?
Well, it was a two-step call. We scored greatly at the first one, and then we didn't get enough points at the last one, the final one. And a lot of work was done during nights, and yeah, everyone was disappointed.
Okay.
So basically at that point, I still had that ambition that I want to do something like big, scalable, but there was one ingredient missing. And that was actually Mikolas. He was the one who kind of directed me to the right way, and I met Lina Daniana, and all those knowledge about how do you call it?
Talent dynamics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talent dynamics, and that you have to combine 3 things if you want to be successful. You have to combine your natural passion, what you like to do. You have to combine it with your natural skills, what you are good at, and plus find a market for those 2. And this is like a really strong triangle that helps to move forward for a long time. So I was missing this ingredient, and once I got this knowledge, and then it all went to Millo, and this is. But
one thing, we actually met a year and a half ago or something like that. Yes. Because a mutual friend of ours said, hey, you should get to know each other because you're both trying to do something in the in the food business, yeah. But so you decided to go into food before you met me and eventually Lina. So how did you were working? Your two previous startups were in travel, yeah. Then how did you decide to go into food?
A friend of mine started his startup, which was delivering food for the whole day, and I kind of like helped him to work with the food and just, I don't know, some basic idea where to start, what to do. And at that point I thought, yeah, this is something interesting.
Okay.
Healthy food is good.
Yeah,
Let's do something in that area.
Yeah.
So this is when we met, and we had some talks what we can do, yeah. So, but I was still like searching for something. I was not sure really what I want to do. Travel was nice. Everyone wants to travel.
Sure.
So let's travel and do some business, right?
Yeah.
Eating food is nice as well. So this is basically, I was trying to find something nice plus where I can make some money. And with Millo, it's kind of similar, but in a way it's different, because when I came up with the idea of Millo, I actually aligned it with my passions and my natural skills. So what I found out that I'm really passionate about doing sports daily. This is something I like to do every morning. This is drive me crazy every day. This is where I get the energy. So I thought, okay, I have sport. When you do sports every day, you have to think about nutrition. This is like a must, right? That's
Sure.
your fuel. So, and kind of sports, food, and blender came just right between, and that was like the moment I realized that I could be working on the best, world's best blender was like something amazing, wow. And yeah, so.
Okay, so how did you get this idea? I mean, you were working on clarifying your talents, your passion, and so did you use any methodology for like, okay, creating, I'm gonna do the blender? Or was that, how did it all happen?
Okay, so basically I had two lists. One is my passions, right? And the other one was skills.
Sure.
So this is what I knew, that I have to find something that would correlate with those two. And so I basically open up for any ideas that will come up. This is like when you want to buy a car and you know exactly what car you want, then suddenly the whole city is driving the same car, right? So you just see it all around.
Sure.
So one morning I was looking, okay, let's put it in a different perspective. I was blending in the morning. It was nice to have like nice smoothie in the morning. The annoying thing was the noise coming from the blender, especially when the whole family is sleeping.
Yeah.
But at that point it was, it's a problem, but whatever, not that big problem. But then one morning I was looking how my little girl was playing with a toy. It's like a magnetic box, and two dancers are going around. And I thought, wow, this is something beautiful. A blender could work this way, you know. Actually, you know, comparing blender like a really powerful device to a toy was something crazy. But
it seems it has worked, huh?
Yeah, but for me, I thought, wow, this could be cool. And so we started, well, and the next step was to find the person who will make it. I'm not an engineer, I'm just like a business marketing person. So I had an idea, and it took another 6 months, I guess, until I found the right person to do the prototype. And again, another really exciting moment when we saw that actually magnets are holding enough torque, and you can blend food inside. Yeah.
When was it? Like how much time ago? When you actually saw this that magnets are holding the thing?
That was last summer, I guess, in the middle of last summer. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So So there are two people in your team, or there's more? There's you, the engineer, and
the engineer apparently after some time we worked together, we kind of separated because, well, for me it's like my true passion. I want to do it for 1 year, for 2, for 5, whatever. I want to bring it to life. I want to start selling it. And for him, he was more excited, for the challenge to make a blender.
Yeah.
And he did it. And then I kind of saw that he wants to do something more, some other challenges, some other stuff. And then, so we kind of sit down and talked and just, okay.
So found a solution and you bought him out, or?
Yeah.
Basically this. A couple of months ago, we had some lawyers here, and we were discussing about the agreements between founders, co-founders. Did you have anything written down, or was that only a gentleman's word? How did you frame it in a legal sense?
Yeah, at first it was a handshake.
Yeah.
for the first, 4 to 6 months. And later, once we had investors, when they came in, then I had a company, Arrow and Pillow, the very first one from the first startup. So basically, I gave a certain amount of shares to engineer.
Yeah.
And so once we did this, then we kind of had like a legal agreement between us. But in the beginning, it was like more handshake.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now let's put some more into a timeline. Yeah. So the idea for the blender happened when?
2015 December something.
December. Then you were looking for a partner engineer for half a year.
Yeah.
So that's what, summer last year.
Exactly.
And then you started developing the prototype.
We did the prototype. Then the first investor came. Actually. Yeah.
So the first investor, probably all of us have heard that you've attracted 4 angel investors. So there was one even before that, or?
We had one like deciding whether to invest or not. Then another one came, and well, it's it's the game you play, right? When you have one and you go to another one, you say, okay.
Yeah,
so
look, this guy is giving me.
Exactly. So yeah, so at that point, these two people, they knew each other, and kind of respected each other. So when they realized that we'll be investing together, so it was easier for them to make the decision. And the third one came along with the second one, and the fourth one
with the first.
Well, no, we kind of just had one meeting, and at the end of the meeting, like almost like 5 minutes saying goodbye, he said, "Is there a chance to invest?" Yes. So yeah, that was kind of easy with the.
He's like, "Shut up and take my money."
Close to that.
Close to that. Okay, cool. What did you do? Okay, so the engineer is prototyping and developing the product. What did you do from a business and marketing perspective so that without having a real product, you managed to attract these investors? What was on your agenda for the previous year?
Before the investors.
Yeah, so that you got those investors.
Okay.
So we all want investors, so tell us your secrets.
Well, basically, both of us worked on the thing itself. We had to decide on the design, the way it will work, and how it will look, and all that kind of stuff. So I was more on that idea. What is the general concept of Millo? And basically, I was doing everything. If we need to, I don't know, if we had to get a glass for the top, so I would go to the suppliers and find for glass and do all the polishing and all that stuff, all the basics.
Yeah, but but you as well were talking with the potential investors, because how did they find you? How did they know about the idea?
Okay. Interesting point. I didn't manage to finish the standard pitch presentation before we got the first money. This is something unusual, really, because it was kind of like ready 90%, but what I saw from the first meetings, once we had the prototype, no one was really looking into the computer. Everyone was like looking into the thing itself, and also listening and getting all that emotions coming. And so after we finished the prototype, we tried to reach as many people as possible.
But you had some estimate about market. You had some idea about the retail price, or no?
Rough idea.
Rough idea.
Well, the thing is, a market for blenders. Yes, you can get the data for, but it's in a way it's not a blender really. I mean, it does what blender does, but it's a little bit different product. So yes, I have the data, but like whatever. I mean, what does it, a billion value market? So what?
Okay.
It means nothing really. It's all those data. I guess the most important thing is like it's passion about the product. You can get 1% of the market, 10%, and of course. I mean, when you go to business meetings, you have to talk about business, right? So you have to explain why that this product can go globally. So we are talking about health market. We are talking about innovation and technologies. We are talking about social sharing. We are talking about what else? More or less about these things. So these are the biggest trends in the world right now. So my guess is that those were like information for like a radical decision. Why there could be a potential?
Because usually, from my perspective, it's investors like to see the market and then
numbers.
The numbers guys they are, yeah. So it's very untypical. Your case is really untypical. You didn't have a deck, a slide deck, a pitch deck. You didn't have. They were not interested in the market size, and so that's a very curious case. But one more thing, you said that it's not a blender. It's not only a blender. So what is your product then?
I don't know, how many of you have blenders? Just curiosity. Okay, like more or less half of you. And how many of you used the blender for the last week? I was expecting a little bit less, but what usually happens with a blender is it looks like a nice idea to buy a blender and start blending food and you're doing smoothies and all that, but then actually you don't have as much time for it as you would like, right? And it's a big blender, noisy one, and it got pushed somewhere, to the drawer in the kitchen drawer, and then people don't use it really. What we want to create with Millo, a product that could be used every day. So how can we achieve that? It should be on the table every time. You don't have to,
look for it in the drawer.
Look for it.
Yeah.
It should be small. It should be nice. This is something to attract attention. Also, we thought about the convenience. In terms of blending, it's a time for cleaning. So when you blend inside the container, the one that you will be drinking, so you don't have to wash the glass. All you have to wash is plus a small cap of blades. So it's literally 5 seconds, and that's it. Smartness. Yes, we do have an application, mobile application, but this is not what we want to create, a smart blender. What we want to create something similar to sport mobile applications. When you do your run, You get all the data, and after some time you can see how good are you doing, right? So this is something similar that can be done with food. You are using your blender daily, and then after some time you can see your progress. How is your nutrition? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Plus, this is the only blender in the world that you can share the actual blending settings, how to blend food. And this is quite important. Some smoothies are like ice cream. They're nice, right? Sweet and just like a treat. And other smoothies are more beneficial for your health. So, and it all comes to the settings how to blend. So that's the first blender in the world that have this opportunity to have a custom setting for each recipe.
So basically, this appliance is managed via mobile phone.
You can use mobile phone. You can use touch screen, touch control on top. So this basic function just to set the speed and just let it go. We can do some demo demonstration later.
Yeah. Okay. So that's really an improvement comparing with the other competitors. What else? What are the other competitive advantages regarding the market? So that's this setting that you can reuse, and have develop a perfect setting for the blender and then reuse it every time.
Well, it's all started about the noise, really.
Okay.
So we started about how to minimize the noise, and with this magnetic drive solution, it's actually this is the best way to minimize noise, because you have like
no friction,
really. And what we have, the prototype, and what we can do, it's a total different story. We know what we can do much better, but then it all comes to custom manufacturing, and this is what we want to do after the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, so let's talk about the future. So now you have raised some capital, enough for probably another half a year probably. What's the plan? You're preparing a Kickstarter campaign?
So we are almost ready to launch the Kickstarter campaign. Just today I've got the final video of the Kickstarter. We can watch it today later. First time. All the other material is also ready, and so we will give some time for people to review it, and maybe some some little details, and we hope to launch on the 9th of May.
9th of May.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then what? You raise money that you're gonna use for production already?
It all depends. I mean, how crazy Kickstarter will go. It can be zero. It can be million. You don't know. It's always different.
Yeah, but you're preparing a plan anyway. Come on.
Our plan is to do our best with Kickstarter and to start fundraising after Kickstarter, because in order to reduce the price and improve the product, we need quantities.
Yeah.
Okay. So with a Kickstarter, you can sell a certain amount of product. So it will take a year, and then what? You have to manufacture much more. Use Amazon premises, stock all the products, and then start selling. So we will need like a huge investor for that. So that's the plan. Do Kickstarter, perform well, and then use all the data, show the investors that we have validation of the product, and to expand.
So you're gonna be selling Millo on Kickstarter, yeah? What's the price?
The starting price is £199 because we're launching from UK.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you're You're starting the Kickstarter campaign. You're looking to attract another major investor. That sounds like a lot of work. How do you balance, the work that you do, the sport that you do every day, and I get up in the morning, check into Facebook, and he's already posting his screenshot from a running application, jogging application. I'm like, so you gotta find that you gotta find time for that, for the work and the family. So how do you balance those out?
Yesterday I was watching one presentation, and it was about work and life balance. And the guy said that the secret is that there is actually no balance at all. So if you have something, if your work is your passion, then don't even try to balance it with your personal life. It's
Tell it to your wife, huh?
But there's a bit difference, and this is what I'm trying to do. That I know this should be that way, but still I'm working on this one. That so there's no balance, okay? But
Forget it.
But what you can do, you can be present. So when you're at home, you're at home. You don't think about work. You put your mobile away. You don't use computer. You're at home. You're with your child. You're with your wife. You're eating food, and you're at home. When you go to work, you don't think about the family, what you missed, what's wrong, and all the stuff. So be present. Be in the moment. This is what I know now, but I'm trying to do that, but still quite complicated. It's always, the monkey mind. Yeah.
Okay.
But good advice, and trying to implement it in my life.
How do you try to do that? I mean, that's a skill that is not taught in the school. So where do you? Okay, so you at least know the value for being present, being in the moment. But do you meditate? Where do you take your meditation practice if you do that? I mean, how do you do that? How do you learn? Because you are learning to be in the moment.
Actually,
what's the
I
process?
did meditate for a while. That was when actually Millo was created. So it was one of the ways to find that harmony and happiness inside, so I could do something great. And at some point, meditation was changed by sport daily.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did try meditation. Cool stuff. There's
I know.
a very very nice book, 10% Happier. And it's about meditation and how it can help, and yeah, I really liked it and recommend it to you.
Actually, I got my idea to found Kūno Kultūra, my current business. It was I think not 2 weeks after I came out of Vipassana meditation course. It was like a 10-day total silence without speaking. For just like meditating 12 hours a day. It was a hardcore meditation course, and so I came out with a clean mind, and then you can have some fresh ideas, and I had one, and now I'm doing that. So guys, meditate. It works. Okay, so you've had your share of mistakes, I guess, as well. What were they, and what have you learned from them, and what would you repeat? What mistakes would you repeat? What would you try to? What would you try to avoid?
Actually, the last 2 months was like a huge mistake for me, because we actually had to launch Millo somewhere in the middle of February, and we were late. So each week looked like, okay, we have to hurry up. Okay, it won't be perfect, but let's do it, be quick. And so we were always quick, and we were always doing something wrong. And at the end, we spent so much time, and we didn't have good result. And so this was like last 2 months, and almost, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks ago or so, I said to myself, stop. Do not hurry, no more, just stop, that's it. You have to do it, you know, there are certain steps and you have to do one at the time, and then you will get to the result. So right now, like I'm 90% happy about with the result we have at Kickstarter. Next time it will be like completely different. Yeah, so that was the biggest mistake, and I don't know, something that we learned when you do. You just, there are some certain steps and you have to finish each of them, and then you get the result. This is something that yeah, one person told me before doing the Millo Kickstarter. He told he has a hardware Kickstarter. Do it right from the first time. He said, "This is my main advice to you." I was like, "Yeah, okay," but now I really understand what is the meaning. Just do it right. Do not hurry. It's impossible. You get too much stress. Actually, for 4 weeks, I was so stressed. I didn't do sport because there was so much things to do, and I was even more stressed because of that. So I don't know. That last month, okay, not last, but 2 weeks ago, it was like a crazy time. Yeah.
But there's the saying, "Done is better than perfect."
Yeah.
Which kind of contradicts to what you are saying now.
So
tell me about it.
I had an idea like, okay, let's do Kickstarter next year. And then some people said, okay, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
No, we're doing it now, and it's good enough. And, so yeah, so.
But so how to make sure that you're not losing time in search of, you know, fabulous design, fabulous product wording, and getting things done, you know, because everything is changing so fast these days, and you really don't have time to polish every single detail. That's my idea. So how do you think this situation should be managed?
So first, do it right from the first time, no matter how long will it take. Eventually it will be shorter. And the second one is planning and tracking, I don't know, weekly, at least one meeting per week, and see how you're doing. This is what we're actually struggling right now. We're kind of trying to track, but then again, it's like, okay, it's what is the most important thing to do today? Yeah.
It's not meeting, let's do stuff, yeah?
Yeah, but those two must have.
Okay, so yeah, so that's the last mistake and last lesson. Before that, what mistakes do you think you have made, and what lessons have you learned? Maybe not only talking about Millo, but maybe from your previous startups, because I know from my own experience that nothing helps you learn better as a failed startup. You know, because success is a bad teacher. Everybody knows that. So what were your main lessons during, let's say, startup career? Let's leave the consultancy behind, but from the startup life.
I guess the biggest lesson from the last decade was choose wisely what you want to do. Really, I mean, it kind of starts in the school, then you straight away you go to the university, you finish something, and then you have this idea what you want to do. You start doing it, you start career, you get money, you have fun, and it's like, it's rolling, right? And you see that like 5-10 years passed, and was it the place I wanted to be in the first?
Yeah.
So this is really important. I mean, understand where you're heading, when you want to be. And once you get that idea, then again we go back to this your natural passions and your skills.
Mm-hmm.
This is you, right? There are some things that you are skillful, and there are some things you are passionate about. So this is what you have to do, really. Otherwise, you will be making money maybe for yourself, but you won't be happy, or you will be making money for someone else, and again, you won't be happy. And the startup life is really hard one. It's like 10 harder than a career, really. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to get first funding, and then it's even harder to continue. So chances of success are so small, but when you're chasing not the financial part, but when you're chasing like a bigger dream, like, I don't know, personally for myself, I see that Millo can help like millions of people to change fast food to fast health. And for me, it's like, wow. Mm-hmm. Is it something that I really can do and live after myself? And yeah, so that's the passion, and try to find that passion. So yeah, and that was the biggest mistake, and I think it's like most of us do that, right? Mm-hmm. So we're doing something until we realize that it's too late and it's time to change.
Yeah, and I think this is a very common scenario, being pushed by the environment to a certain profession, maybe because father, mother, grandparents are doctors, lawyers, exactly. Stuff like that, and then you have to, not that you want, but you have to, and it all goes, yeah, and then you are a money maker, not a dream chaser, which is way much more fun. And what I have seen from my environment is never too late to change and go chasing your dream. And like I know guys who in their 40s decided to become architects and finish university at this age and then start creating beautiful stuff, and then you're not counting the hours that you spend working. Yeah, okay, so that's I think a really important thing, and it's often overlooked, because the passions are here, inside of us, and we have to just discover and let them flow. So yeah, that's very, very good point.
The biggest gap in
point, yeah.
That's the biggest gap in education that we have right now, right? So we're pushed somewhere where we don't want. Do we want to be there? Is it part of ourselves, right? Sure. Some people want to go and, I don't know, to surf, to skateboard, or do something, and they think this is cool. This is that, or make photos or videos, and parents usually say, hey, this is fun, but you are not going to make money from that. So yeah, so it's all come back to education and all the gaps. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just last week I learned that a friend of mine who's I think like 45 now, he said, okay, screw it, I'm a kite surfing instructor now. And he's a kite surfing instructor. So yeah, like really, guys, listen to your passions. That's probably the best advice. What other lessons have you learned on the way?
Choose your co-founders wisely.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But then, how to do that?
This is the hardest thing. I mean, yes, you have some friends and you know them, but usually they don't have the skills that you need, right? And you can find someone with the skills, but you don't know the person at all. And you kind of try to understand, to feel, and just predict how it's going to be in the future. But usually the first impression, and later it's a little bit different story. So what I learned talking about choosing co-founders is be very careful with your promises. Okay, when you do a startup, on the one hand you have to show the big picture, how it's going to be nice, how and all that stuff. Thank you. On the other hand, you have to be really careful. What are your promises? And this is one of the hardest things to me right now. Letting down some people. You promise something, and then you realize that you are not able to provide, right?
To deliver. Mm-hmm.
To deliver, and yeah, you have to sit, talk, but then you can see that the person is disappointed, and this is like the hardest thing, to see that you disappoint someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a painful stuff. So okay, how would you choose your co-founder now? What would you do? How would you do that? Yeah, okay, so you know that this guy has the skills that you need. How would you approach the whole thing of forming the alliance, so to say, with some?
I think that the process of funding is not changing. You just go talk and try to predict how it's going to look like, but you don't take like strong agreements in the very beginning. You have to allow yourself like a half a year, maybe a year, to work together, understand each other. Can you do something together or not? It looks like a long term, but you have to be together for such a long time to understand exactly what can you expect from each other. So at least 6 months to.
Do you think it's feasible to have this half a year? Because let's model a situation.
Yeah.
We meet, let's say we meet as a potential co-founders, yeah, and say, okay, so I need your skills. Let's see, maybe we can work it out as a co-founders. But then you need my time, my effort, my commitment. I probably need to stop my current commitments. And
I don't have money to pay.
And you don't have, yeah, being a startup, you don't have money to pay me.
Yeah. That's the biggest dilemma, right?
Yeah.
How to do it.
Okay, so.
But I mean, again, you have to agree that there's a certain period of time that you will get to know each other. It's mutual agreement. It's not that one decides, okay, after a certain time, whatever, we don't work together. Both of us would have to decide, do we want to work together, right? So it should be a mutual agreement, but it should be in a long term. So if it's two people, two co-founders, then they both take a risk that maybe they will not work together.
Yeah, and it depends probably on the share distribution, so to say. Like if you're the main guy and I'm just, let's say, 10% guy, yeah. So that's the distribution of power in this agreement. That is in play, and that's important to.
Talking about the legal stuff, it's easy. I mean, they're all kind of instruments to just to divide shares later, and you can agree on the terms before that.
Yeah, but in terms of bargaining power, I mean, so if I'm the main guy, I'm the main guy, so how to include and get the commitment and the effort from the guy you wanna get on board? That's a really tough question, I guess.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah, that's life. That's tough. And looking back at my own situation, my co-founder has left my business after half a year as well. So yeah, these very tough decisions, and how do you structure them? I still don't know a good way to do that, and it's probably trial and error.
Yeah,
trial and error.
I know some, like 2 examples where brothers are doing startups.
Yeah.
And it's like really successful startups and successful stories.
I think we had one. Oberlo was one of them. Yeah. So we had them here on this Startup Grind fireside chat. Yeah, their story is amazing. Yeah, it's a bit easier. But then I don't know if I would do I wouldn't want to lose a brother, so to say, if you get angry with each other, because doing business with a friend is it could be a highway to disaster, you know, and then what? You don't talk anymore? Risky.
That's the biggest risk you take.
Yeah.
I mean, the chances that you will fail are like 90%, right?
Oh yeah.
You will fail the startup.
Yeah.
And also probably you will fail the friend as well.
With the relationship.
So don't do startups with friends, please.
Unless you have to. Okay. So any more lessons to share? So let's summarize. Your most recent lesson was that don't hurry too much, and things take time and work them out. Then this
choose co-founder.
Yeah, choose co-founder wisely. And what was before that?
Life dilemma, the biggest one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So anything else?
I think
these are the
three
cornerstones.
More than enough for one conversation.
So before we turn to the audience for the questions, I'm sure they have some, and they're gonna prepare now. Maybe we have let's have a small demonstration of the product.
It's good we have some water.
Put some time.
So basically you set the speed and then just let it go.
So this is the maximum speed?
Yeah.
It is quite noisy.
It is quite noisy. Two reasons for that. One of them is, when things can go wrong, they go wrong.
Oh.
Before actually filming the Kickstarter video, we decided to polish the aluminum
case. Yeah.
The aluminum case, and apparently we lost all our electronics by that. and so the one that was supposed to be like a star.
Yeah.
We had to make a new one really like in 2 days and just put everything together from the parts we had on the table. We didn't have time to order new ones. So this one have like quite a strong vibration from the motor.
Okay.
And this is similar to car tire, where you have to put the
balancer
in a certain place, and then it you avoid the vibration. So this one, lots of vibration, lots of noise.
Okay.
Yeah, but what else? There was the second thing. Yeah, but for this, the actual product, okay. So, and the motor we're using right now, it's the one that we had to take apart and then put together ourselves. But once you take apart something, then it's quite hard to to put it back.
You always get some spare parts, right?
Somehow, but this was my ambition to make it more slimmer. That's why we had to do it that way, and it will be sorted once we will be able to order a custom-made motor for the blender, so it will be well balanced and slimmer, better than without vibration. We will have the quietness we had with the previous version. So we did some noise test and we had 65 decibels. it was a higher. Okay, we didn't touch the motor, but we had 65 decibels, which is comparing to other blenders is like 4 times quieter. If you know, like every 10 decibels, it's a double of noise.
Yeah.
So a blender usually works at 80 decibels. So we had 80, 85, up to 90, and we had 65, and which is we are talking right now about 65 decibels.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Okay, and what, it has a battery pack? How many smoothies can I blend with one charge?
Should be about 10 smoothies, so it's more than enough for for portability to take it somewhere to make some smoothies, and I don't know, take it on a business trip or just outside.
And what's the weight of the thing?
About it's not that heavy.
Yeah, it's what?
About
kilo? No. Two-ish.
Yeah,
I say kilo and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
shiny, nice.
The whole box should be about 3 kilograms,
okay.
all packed all together.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So, does it blend nuts or even ice?
It will blend nuts, ice, frozen bananas, strawberries.
iPhones, will it blend?
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Other question is how much you expect to get from Kickstarter from pledgers?
Our
pledges.
What sum of money?
Our goal is to have revenue up to 1 million. So hopefully we'll be somewhere close to that number.
So when you are starting?
The date is 9th of May.
Okay.
But you said in the video you're limiting initial production to 3,000 units.
Yeah.
So that's what, 60K? If you're selling for 200?
Starting 200, and it's from 200 to 399.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, but still it doesn't make for 1 million.
It does.
It does. Okay, it does. Okay, more questions?
How long the production takes?
Once you have everything ready and you need just to push the button, it's half a year. And before that, preparation can take forever, really.
Ages. Yeah.
For ages, yeah. So we hope that we will manage to prepare everything in 6 to 9 months and then have production in another half a year. So 1 year, 1 year and a half, something in between.
What is your business model? Are you planning to sell these blenders to the customers directly, or you're planning to find resellers and just keep yourself as a distributor?
Right now, Kickstarter is just to validate the market, to see how many people will actually want to buy it and what price they're willing to pay. Later, we have started already to partnership with, there are so many, like, I don't know, thousands of various kind of like yogis, smoothie makers, healthy lifestylers and bloggers, and a lot of people that are into blending. So those are called like affiliates, and we are thinking on working together, working directly with affiliates and selling from Amazon. Yeah, so that's our model for the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there was a question here.
First,
Yeah, Indra.
question. What does the name Millo means? And another one is what markets are you focusing on, or regions?
Okay, so the first one. I don't know how many of you had tried to come up with the idea how to name something. It's a really quite painful procedure, and we tried to work in one of the best agencies in Lithuania, and somehow all the names were like nice, but you know they just didn't stick to the Millo to blender. So and and again, at that point we were like rushing. We have to do a Kickstarter in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, okay, and we don't have name. So I was so frustrated that I just, I sat to the computer and just, I don't know, start browsing, looking, searching, and then the name Mill came. And Mill is like a small, it's similar to blending. It's a little bit different, but then it's kind of, I thought, yeah, why not? Mill is the right meaning for a new product, and we need a letter O to put OS. This is how it became Millo, and it kind of sounds cool, I don't know, personally for me, and then so we decided to go with Millo markets. Right now we're testing Facebook communication to English-speaking markets, so in Europe and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like everywhere people are interested into the product. We will see after the Kickstarter what are the best markets, but the whole world want to live more healthier, especially yes. They have
And the Martians, I heard. Okay, there was a question here. No more? Yeah?
In which country do you planning to product Millo?
So from few experiences like Deeper, City Birds, what we got, that yes, China is much cheaper, but you don't get quality there. And if you want to start with a quality product, you have to start with actually manufacturing in Lithuania. So I'm not sure how we will manage to manufacture small quantities of plastic here in Lithuania, but we'll try. We have producers in Šiauliai, the ones who are working with Deeper, but it's still the quantity it's like bottleneck for us right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how to do that. But the final assembly, which is like the most important part, the quality control, is going to be done here in Lithuania. The cost is like huge cost. And the price that initially we thought to put on Kickstarter were like up to 600 euros, but
Yeah.
this was like a cost-based model. Like, okay, we will need this, that, but thanks that we have like wise investors. They say, guys, this is not a price for the product, so they have to be cheaper, and this is why we will be looking for additional investors straight away after the Kickstarter. So we're just giving away exactly for the cost that it costs us to manufacture, really.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions as well. One is, what's the variety of the product? And another one is, have you thought through like customer relationship, client relationship? Maybe, there are many examples of very innovative and interesting client relationship. Have you thought maybe that would be another, advantage? Have you thought of any interesting innovative ideas?
Okay, so the warranty 2 years, standard one, nothing special, just we were thinking about going 10, but then it's like something crazy.
That would be something probably like...
Yeah, that would be like a marketing message, like 100% sure. We're not 100% sure, okay? This is our first run, and we will have mistakes, and we will have to fix them, and maybe even replace one of you. So yeah, 2 years, this is like a normal. And there could be quite a few like interesting integrations with other products. One I have in mind is just a partnership with producers of drinking mugs, right? So basically we can put our blades on any mug and then have this blending with existing mug. So this is one of them. There are quite a few really strong international companies that do just this, and this is their core product. The one thing that I didn't tell about what we found during preparing for the Kickstarter was how to attract really powerful people that have some huge circles of social circles. Initially, we tried to, just find some blogger approach and say, hey, nice blog, nice product, let's put it all together. Somehow it didn't work. Like absolutely nothing. We have like none result.
Okay.
And then another idea came that why not giving a free smoothie book along with Millo. And this is like a slightly different angle when you approach someone and you say, hey, you have a really nice book and we want to buy it from you and give it as a gift to complement the Millo. And this one went, wow, I contacted 4 bestsellers from Amazon of the smoothie books, and all 4 replied, yes, we want to do that. So before that, we contacted, I don't know, about 50, 70, and almost nothing. And then 400% said yes. So it's like a different angle that we found, and hopefully this will be one of the components that will help us to grow the Kickstarter. And these are awesome people. I mean, from the messages that we write to each other, these are really nice people, and I can feel that they're willing to help, just to help. But because we came with a different offer, not an offer, like a partnership, then it's a different result. Yeah.
I think I had an idea for how to add more value for the customers. You could do a recipe and blending settings exchange between the users, like make a kind of a Millo social network where they could exchange the best.
This is
coming up.
This is actually one of the cores of Millo that.
Yeah.
There's a trend of drinking coffee. Okay, this is social. You have coffee, you talk, and it's all nice. Why not having the same trend, like social trend, talking, but instead of having a cup of coffee, having a cup of smoothie, right? And all you need is like
all you need is a Millo.
Is a Millo.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is hopefully with this new relations established with this world top bestsellers of smoothie books, and that they all combined have like more than 1 million followers, like people who are into smoothies, and we will try to all together to create that trend of smoothie is cool, not coffee. Smoothie is cool.
Yeah. Okay. More questions. Any more questions?
I guess one more from my side. So on your video, I saw like guys walking. Each of them they have this special cup. So seems like you need to make more cups than these spinners. And how are you going to sell them? If, for example, they want more cups. Are they coming? How many of them they coming to the box?
So we have a package, a standard package, like if you want to buy it for yourself. We have a package for family, and this is the one that will be giving free books away. So if you buy 1 Millo and 3 cups for a family, then you get a book. And also we'll have a package for a small team. So basically it's 1 Millo and 6 drinking mugs. And you can add as many as you want. And this is another key selling point. When you're buying this not only for yourself but for few people, I don't know, that can be shared in the office or in the gym, you're actually paying for the cup. And then this is like a fraction of the price that you share for the blender. And maybe in the future we'll be able to just provide it for free as like kind of similar model to coffee machines, where you have a machine and just you basically pay for the coffee, right?
Yeah,
Not for
yeah.
the machine. So yeah, this is a lot of cups, 1 Millo.
Okay, very cool. Any more questions? No more questions. Okay, so let's all have a nice round of applause for Ruslanas. I think it was a really nice conversation. So thank you, and see you again in our Startup Grind fireside chats. Thank you.